Welcome back, Smeg heads, and welcome to Smug Mode, a Red Dwarf podcast where we discuss the British cult sci-fi classic comedy Red Dwarf. I'm Ben Gilman. As always, I'm joined by Tom Hill.
Hey.
Dan Rudge.
You all right?
And as you heard on the last episode, we managed to get NASA to get him back for us. It's Troy Salmon.
Was her?
NASA didn't really do anything, Ben. You're kind of misleading the audience there.
Yeah, but it's a running joke.
I mean,
so...
no. Just for number one, they laughed off all of our claims. Number two, the black hole turned out to be a bit of dirt on the fucking screen. Number three, you had locked Troy in the cupboard in an attempt to make a joke about a black hole in NASA. Which is perfectly understandable, and I applaud you for it. Carry on.
Okay. The bullying of Ben Gilman continues on this podcast as well.
Hang on, I was agreeing with the actions. I just thought the audience had a right to know the truth.
Okay. Well, Troy's now out the cupboard, out the black hole, out whatever the hell we're talking about. And that's so today we're talking about series 4, episode 3, Justice. Smug Mode is now engaged. So this episode's plot summary is the Red Dwarf crew transport a defrosting status capsule to Justice World, a remote penal space station where they believe the person in the capsule may be one of the convicts or one of the guards. And Rim is convicted of the radioactive disaster that wiped out the entire crew of Red Dwarf.
Oh, that.
Jeez.
Yeah, that old chestnut. So what did you guys think of this one?
This has one of the most memorable Red Dwarf scenes for me personally. And also one of my favorite uses of audience laughter in anything Red Dwarf does, which is in that same.
Is it the list that pops his head like a giant zit?
No.
That is funny, though.
It's the judgment scene.
Oh, that's...
Yeah,
you mean the
It's the fact that they start off and they are all worried about Lister because he starts getting worried because he didn't know, and it's like, oh crap, I'm not exactly the most, oh dear, what kind of judgment have I walked into? This is obviously not some Earth court anymore. This is entirely AI run. What the hell?
Despite
and then it passes him despite minor, yeah. And it's only Rimmer left, and before anything else has happened, and he's just standing there like, oh, well, he got off. I'm gonna be fine. There's a bit of audience laughter just watching him just be there, because it's like
they know
they're letting you know that you know what's about to happen.
Yeah. I've got it on my notes here. I'm so glad you brought that up, Dan, because that's one of my favorite moments is the anticipation of the audience of aha.
It's like getting the joke before the punchline intentionally. Like that's kind of part of the joke, and those are my favorite. Like I love it when the punchline is subverted. You know what I mean?
I love the fact that Red Dwarf is the master. We've said this before of the obvious joke, but it's still funny. So we start this episode. Let's go back to the beginning.
Okay.
We start with Lester having an infection with a big head, and he does look like a really shit Klingon. But it's not bad makeup, I have to say. He does look a bit like a Klingon. Somebody watched the original, the Next Generation, and thought, we can do that.
Fair enough.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
I just
I kept on thinking they were going to do some kind of like Quasimodo of the head kind of joke. If you know what I mean. Yeah, they never did it.
I mean, they went with the Elephant Man joke.
Yeah, Elephant Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, there the Elephant Man. Double date the Elephant Man. You be the looker.
That's it.
You be the
looker. We find out that Lister likes hot lager with croutons. It's an interesting choice for a soup.
I mean, it's a very Lister meal, isn't it?
I would be disappointed if it wasn't sickening.
To be honest, I think it's a bit poncy to add the croutons, but you know.
Exactly. That's just like.
I mean, that was proper classy of him. Actually.
Yeah, but that's
Man's
not
got
a
his
crouton.
taste. Man's got his taste. It's got to be cereal somehow, hasn't it?
Yeah, true enough. True enough.
True.
I have to try this one day. Maybe I try it. Heat up some lager and.
Oh,
and some
hot
croutons.
lager is one of the worst things on earth.
Hot,
Yeah,
Ben,
It really is.
I guarantee you, if you go through the things Lister eats voluntarily on the Red Dwarf series, and you remake them and try and eat them, I guarantee you that gets views.
That's a guarantee
On
that
that
you'll be
note,
able.
by the way, anyone who's listening, please do subscribe, please do like,
yes.
please do tell your friends about us. Share this if you can on your social media or whatever.
Yeah,
We'd
press the
love to get
notification bell as
more
well.
people listening because we really do love doing this.
Yes.
Definitely.
But also, if I recreated this stuff, you would have to go and find a new host for Syndrome and Smug mode because I'd be dead. Okay, so
Not necessarily. The stomach pumped.
so Rimmer has
You'd have like
done
the emergency services on standby and all that.
Yeah.
a,
That cruel to you, Ben.
yeah, fit me with a new arsehole after it's blown up from all the curry. So Rimmer's done the most Rimmer thing, has gone on a rambling holiday to go and check out the diesel deck photos. I just find it's really funny. And Crichton's reaction to the photographs of just boredom.
Don't his circuits start to melt or something?
Yeah.
There's a circuit.
That face that he pulled as well. That's like, oh. He did it. He said it as well.
It's such low energy for Crichton. He's normally quite high
Oh,
energy.
he couldn't be asked. More out of his head. I loved it.
It's like a typical, like, you know, because they're locked on Red Dwarf, it feels a lot like a lockdown holiday. It'd be like, oh yeah, so I went to look in my back garden and went camping in my back garden. Here's the holiday snaps. You know, it's like a lockdown version of that. Oh dear.
But you kind of think about it as well. You're like, oh my days, they actually trapped with each other all this time as well. They literally can't go anywhere. Basically reflecting like society these days right now.
Oh yeah. I do love how every time, because they get the pod on board, and I love immediately how Liz is immediately on it. This man has got. I know he's desperate for sex, but Jesus Christ, this guy works quicker than you have.
Oh my gosh!
The paper you mentioned.
I think the cat is more desperate for sex than Lister, but isn't this the one where he makes the comment about Black and Decker?
Yeah.
I can put this through walls.
Walls, boy.
I love how 150 pelvic thrust is slow mo for cat. Jesus Christ.
Per second.
Per second.
It made me and my wife howl. I forgot how funny. That's like one of the best lines so far in our watch. It just makes me laugh. It's just I had to pause it. I forgot how funny that line was.
Didn't Lister steal an entire hotel room admit to stealing an entire hotel room in this episode as well? The bed.
I stand in awe of his prowess. I don't know how he gets the bed out the bloody window. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is impressive. Scrumping for cars.
And there's also
maybe you can stick a spike in your head and pretend you're the Taj Mahal.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. It's in my notes. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Says on the
Also, I love he'll make balloon animals out of your intestines line. What a lovely visual that is. I'm sure somebody's attempted to do that in real life.
I do love Danny John Jules' reaction when Lister's head explodes off screen and he just walks into that face.
And the crowd just go, ugh.
Oh, jeez. That's nasty. I was like, oh. Nasty.
I don't know. I
Oh,
think
so
some people would find it satisfying.
Yeah.
By the way, have you
Good to
clocked
see.
Holly's when Cat's doing his someone please shoot me. I don't want to live. Has anybody else clocked Holly in the background? Her face is just match my face. Her face is of one of disgust in the background. It's frozen, but you can see her face is just like, motherfucker, what is that? It's disgusting in the way Lister just licks it. It's like, oh,
Oh.
mate.
Ah,
And it's just, you feel like you're one with the audience. It's like, oh.
that's just sickening.
Before, I have noticed one thing though. On Starbug, Lister and Cat are sitting in the wrong chairs. Normally, Cat on the left, Lister on the right, right?
That started in season 5 when they were on Starbug rather than Red Dwarf. More often.
That is why, Tom, you earn your big. That's why we should give you a salary on this. I was going to say that's why we pay you big bucks, but you're doing this for free.
Yeah, but I think that literally it was a decision that was made when they decided to get rid of Red Dwarf and just have Starbug. Then it became these are the seats that these people sit in.
Yes.
But prior to that, I don't think there was any definitive rule to it. Anyway,
I like the fact that the prison ship is shaped like scales, like Justice. Very nice. Nice touch.
yeah, well, it was originally supposed to be a planet.
Hmm.
The original idea was that it was actually going to be the Justice World, which was an entire planet, but they didn't have the budget to do it.
Oh, snap.
The inside looks exactly like it's. I've checked this actually because I'm watching season 2 of Games Master at the moment for a podcast. It's exactly the place that they filmed Games Master season 2 in.
It reminds me of did you ever play Quasar or Laser Quest or Laser Tag? Reminds me of one of those places.
Yeah,
I was waiting.
Studios.
No, that definitely. I was waiting for Dynamite Diamond to come out with a golden joystick and just give it to someone.
Golden joystick.
That's a niche reference.
Since they were filming this around the time of Games Master season 2, or a couple of years later, that disused power station must have got a lot of use back then.
Yeah.
I do like Cat in the boots. I do like the boots, the self-walking boots as well.
Yeah,
That's one of the few things that seems like really dated in.
Yeah, that's the only thing you can probably kind of go to really about that episode.
But I do like the idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea. The cat's just like, no, cat.
He's giving good.
Fashion sense, isn't it?
He's giving good boot acting here, like he's possessed. He's properly getting into it, isn't he? Hold on to the rail. You're not taking me.
No, it's quite good. I do love the trial though, the appeal trial. That
Where Rimmer just got battered. I loved it.
a man so stupid he objects to his own defense counsel.
Yeah. Look at him. He's pathetic.
I feel like Crichton is getting good at life.
I like that bit before it.
I like
Name? Dave Lister. Occupation? Bum.
Bum.
Bum, oh yeah.
Would you
Sir,
describe?
would you describe the accused as a friend? Take the fifth.
What? Okay. What
No,
is take the
the
fifth?
accused is a
I hear
gift.
this. Right, can someone please tell me?
It's an American thing. It's the fifth.
Fifth Amendment.
Yeah, Fifth Amendment.
The right to
It's
not.
the right to not answer something that could implicate you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Although why a cat that was never on Earth would know what the Fifth Amendment was is slightly
Hang
blue.
on.
You know.
I got distracted by when Lister said he's a bum. His tie screams 90s. That tie is looks like someone vomited it up.
Jeez.
Would you? I just like that. Would you describe the accused as a friend? No, I describe the accused as a git.
Yeah.
Who do you think thinks of him most fondly? Me.
And the Napoleon complex comes up again. We keep coming back to this regularly with Rimmer because Crichton, obviously, as Dan says, goes off on one of the best scenes in Red Dwarf history so far. He just lays into Rimmer.
Yeah, so good.
I felt it.
An incompetent vending machine repairman with a Napoleon complex.
I object.
He couldn't help it. He could outwit a used tea bag.
Yeah.
That's my personal favourite.
Who would put him in charge? Only a yogurt. But the best line is definitely the last one, which is, he is only guilty of being Arnold J. Rimmer. That is his crime. It is also his punishment.
Punishment. Oh my god, I love it.
Oh, so good.
I just love the whole thing just for the roasting. That's it, man. I was there for that.
I do like the whole idea of being in a place where you just can't commit a crime.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, and also the fact that rather than just explaining that to Lister, Rimmer manages to get him to set himself on fire.
That one,
That's quite
that
dark.
one bit right at the end of Lister's testimony when it's like, and Trenton's like, I know there are no others who shared moments of intimacy with him. Only one, but she's got a puncture. Objection!
Well, what the biggest stuff for me was the fact that Rimmer wanted an apology. That made me laugh even more. I don't know why. It's just he's adamant that the next scene, he's adamant that Crichton did it as a great tactic, and it's like I just love the fact that Rimmer just wanted an apology.
How did you manage to twist the facts to fit that story?
It's just brilliant. It put the scene into all-time great territory for me. That bit at the end, where he's asking for an apology, it just made me cry with it.
Going back to the story, obviously the whole thing happens because they release a stasis pod that could have a woman or a simulant in it.
Yeah.
Turns out that it was the simulant that survived, not the woman. And they go into a fight in Justice World where obviously they realise that if they do attack the simulant, they're in trouble. And that's how they win the fight, is just by passing him more and more random shit to attack himself with.
It does look like Liz is handing him a dildo to hit him with, though.
Yes,
Oh my god.
It's a bit weird.
My favourite bit of that is when Kat runs up at the end with the spade.
That's the one, yeah.
Just, I got him, buddy.
I got him.
And he just goes, just falls back.
Lots of bliss.
Here, you can take this.
Can I just when the simulant uses the bazooka on Holly, doesn't blow up anything though. That was quite funny. I don't know why. It just didn't even dent the wall or the TV. It's like a little fire.
I can't say I never actually noticed, but yeah.
Yeah.
Fair
I
enough.
didn't notice this more. It's when you start doing podcasts about your favorite shows, you notice the budget sometimes all of a sudden.
Yeah, well, the budget was a big issue with this episode, apparently. So.
By the way, when they say, when they're on top of the gantry and they're looking down at him, they're saying he's unarmed. He is clearly holding a fucking gun. I can see the gun in his hand at the time.
Is that the line where Rimmer says, "I could happily do it if he was on the job"?
Yeah. Don't know what happened there. You can clearly see that the got the gun in his hand. Don't know what happened there.
Well, maybe they couldn't clearly see it. We can clearly see it because you get the angle from where he is, but they're a little bit to the back, so maybe they can't see the fact he's got a gun in his hand. That I have no idea. It's probably just a continuity error, but.
Okay. But I think this episode is great because it talks about what is justice and what is a crime, what isn't a crime, and guilt and stuff. It is a deep dive. It's a fascinating idea.
Yeah,
and the way they're up is really good.
Great concept. I like it. The Justice World.
So I've got something for you guys actually. Interview on the official Red Dwarf website suggested that Ackerman, warden of the tank on Red Dwarf in season 8, used to work at Justice World alongside Barbara Bellini, who he was having an affair with and had to leave in a hurry when caught out. Ackerman was the one who accidentally set the stimulants free, providing an interesting irony that he later imprisoned those who helped contain one of those he had set free.
Possible.
I didn't know that until just now.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else anybody wants to say about this episode? Because I think this